All right, this is what you're going to need to make your journals. This is journal 2. I have 2 journal videos on. Journal 1, journal 2. This is journal 2. All right? Okay. You're going to need a hole puncher, solid colored paper, a decorative sheet of paper, glue stick, and rings. Okay. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the bubble printing that you guys did, and you're going to fold your paper in half. Let's see if I get a piece of paper right here. You're going to fold it in half, okay? And crease it. All right. Then you're going to cut those pages in half, okay? All right. So we have this size, all right? Here I've already cut all of mine in half, all right? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pieces. You're going to take one of these. I used a piece of cardstock, just a heavier sheet of paper as a template, and you're going to poke holes, 2 holes in there, because this is going to be your template for poking the holes for this. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I get my lined up. All right, I always write the top on the top of it, because if you get it flipped over, the holes don't always line up with all the rest on the sheets. You always want to make sure your holes are always lined up. So I write top, so I know that this always goes on, this side is always on top. All right, so you're going to take your paper, and you're going to line it up. You're going to take your paper puncher, and you're going to line up those holes and punch your paper. Okay, there's your holes. So you're going to do that with all your sheets. And I've already done them, or we'd be here for a long time. So I'm going to do these few that I have left. Okay? All right. One more. Okay. Now, depending on how many sheets you did, you're going to get 2 sheets per 1 sheet. So depending on how many you did, I did a lot, but on this case, this is 15 sheets, so I have 30 sheets on here. So it comes up with 30 sheets. All right, so put those off to the side. Keep those lined up. Okay, next thing you're going to do is you need a front and a back cover. All right, so you're going to take, I took gift boxes and I cut them. That's what I'm using. You're going to make it so that there's maybe a 1/2 inch on each side, and I did about 1 inch in the front here. Okay, so this is like 1 inch, 1.5 inches bigger than this sheet that you have here. So this, if you cut your sheet in half, it's probably 5.5 by 4 1/4. So you're just going to line this up, measure around a little bit bigger than what you have. All right, so then you're going to take your scrap paper. See all the scrap paper? I always tell you not to throw your papers away, because you never know where you're going to use them. And you're going to go to that scrap pile, and you're going to figure out what you would like to use for your cover. Okay, so I pulled this because I like this, or you can doodle something, which is what I've done, and that's what I'm going to use today. So this pretty though. Maybe I'll use it on another one. You're going to take your sheet. So I did this for the front cover, and I then took the leaf pattern and just did the same leaf and did it for the back cover. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. Okay, and I'm going to put some glue on here. Oops, should show you. That's pretty funny. Okay, so put some glue on my cardboard piece, okay? And I'm going to center this the best I can. All right? I'm going to center it. Push it down. And then I'm going to take my corners. I'm going to go pull my corners over. Okay? Now what I did is I doodled this paper, but then I made a copy of it, and that way I have that print in my stockpile of stuff I might want to use again later, and then I just pull it out and I'll print another copy of it. But you can use the one you drew on, that's fine. All right, so now I got my corners done. I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put glue on these corner areas. Okay, right here. And I'm going to do all of them. And then I'm going to stick them down. I'm going to push pretty good because I really want the glue to stick. Okay? Down, down. Push down, push down, push down. All right. Then I'm going to pull these up a little because I want to make sure they crease up. All right. You don't have to do this. I just find it works easier. All right, lay back flat. Then I'm going to glue that flap. And then I'm going to put a little glue here where I'm going to glue it down onto. And then I'm going to bring this over. And I'm going to stick it down. Okay, and then I'm going to go around all four of my sides, all four edges. Oops, I almost forgot. All right, all right. Oops. You want to be really generous with the glue because it's glue and you need it to stick. So, you know, that's what I always tell you in class. Be very generous. You want things to stick. All right. Oops. All right. Now, that's part of it. Okay, so there's my front. I'm going to set that off to the side for a second, okay? And I'm going to do my back cover. Same thing. I'm going to put glue on my paper, center it, stick it down, bring my corners in, bring my corners up, my corners up. All right. Put glue on my corners, glue on my corners, glue on my corners, glue on my corners. All right. Stick those down really well. Stick those down really, really well. Okay. Same thing. Four edges. Okay, so this one I didn't crease up, so I'm going to crease these up because it's just easier if they're already creased. That's what I found. I mean, you don't have to. I just find it works better. All right. All right. Get that down really good. All right. Now on the the journal, I did 2 journal videos today. So the first journal, it'll be called Journal 1, and this is Journal 2. So in the Journal 1 video, we did this part right here, okay? And then we glued this then to the paper, but we're not going to do that on here because on that one, when you watch it, you'll see the journal pages are different than the journals on this page, on this one, okay? So on this one, we're going to need to cover this part, all right? So I've elected to use this color pink. So I really like it. I was going between these two. Okay, but again, you're going to take your full sheet, and this is cardstock. You take your full sheet. You don't have to use cardstock on this, but I am. Fold it in half. Crease it. Cut it in half. Cut it in half. And there you go. So I was trying to decide between those 2 colors. I decided to go with the lighter pink. Okay, so what you're going to do with these is, let's put this over just you're going to put glue on this whole sheet because you really want this to stick. Okay, so and remember, we say get those edges really, really well, all the way to the edges. Because it doesn't matter if all your glue's in the middle if your edges are not sticking. So you want to make sure your edges are sticking. So of course, we want to make sure we get those edges really, 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 really well, okay? And then we are going to stick that, and that way that covers that middle part out, okay? All right, same thing for the back cover. So let's get that one on. Again, glue really, really well on your edges. I know I say that a lot, don't I? Edges, edges, edges. Glue on your edges. Maybe now I can get it in your heads. Anyway. All right. Got to really get that in there. Put this over. And there you go. All right, now. You want to use this for the cover. Do I want my leaf going up? I gotta wait, hold on. I gotta face this to me for a minute. I gotta see how I want this. Okay, I want this like this. And then this one doesn't really matter because it's all right, so I've got that lined up on there. So what I need to do, because this is my top, but I'm gonna flip it over to punch it. I want to make sure, okay, so here's my top. I need to make sure those holes might line up, the top, right? So I'm going to put it on top, but then I'm just going to slide it underneath, turn it over, and it will not say top on here, okay? Your top, the top, it says top under here, okay? Then you're going to line that up. Let's just get that in the center as best you can. Okay, then you're going to take your paper puncher again, or your hole puncher, whatever this thing is, and you're going to punch. Now, this is a little thicker. It's got a lot of paper and glue. So I've got to really push hard to get that on. Okay, so now my holes are lined up. All right, flip my book over. Flip your book over. Same thing. This is the top. Wait a minute. I gotta make sure I'm doing this right. See? It's immense a time here. All right. Problem solved. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this off. This is what I need on the top. So on your back cover, you are gonna put the top on top. Okay? So we understand that? Okay, because we're like this. We're going like this. But because I punched from the other side on the cover, I flipped it. All right? Okay, so now we're all lined up. See, art is problem solving. You gotta like flip, flop, turn things around. Oh, measure. Man, you're getting all kinds of stuff. Okay. All right. Telling you to fold your paper in half. See, I'm giving you a math lesson and a problem solving lesson here. Okay. And there we go. Now, we're going to take our rings, and we have different size rings. We have 2-inch rings. I don't need the 2-inch because I don't have that much paper. Here's a 1.5-inch ring, 1.25 inch, and 1 inch. I think the 1 inch is fine on here, so we're going to go with the 1 inch ring. Okay? Put those off to the side. Oh, I get these at Dollar Tree. They're $1. They can be kind of expensive if you go to Office Depot, I guess. It's Office Depot. Anyway, the office supply store, Walmart, Target, they all carry them. But these are only $1 at the Dollar Tree, and they're perfectly great, okay? So, here we go. Now we're going to put our rings on. So, I'm going to go from the bottom, and I'm going to stick this on from the bottom. All right? All right. So, I'm going to try and line them up. I'm not sure if I can, so probably can't. So, I'm going to do half. I'm going to put half on. Well, see, they want to move on me. Half. I think once I get a few on, then it'll stay. I don't know though. We'll see. All right, there's that. Okay, let's get some more on here. Alright, and I can start pulling these up a little bit, I guess. That'll work. See if I can get the rest on. Alright. There we go. Alright, they're on. I'm going to get my cover on. Alright, now pull this around. And lock them on. Be careful not to pinch your finger in there. All right, there is your journal. Okay, so you got it on this particular journal, in journal 2, you'll have a blank side and a bubbly side, because this is where your bubble print goes, right? All right, all right, so that's... There's one. Here's another one. I use green paper and I use painted paper, scrap paper on here. Okay, those two. And you can maybe go this size. So you're going to take this paper, your paper in half, and you're going to cut a few inches off of it. So you're going to cut about this much off, okay? Or however size you want to make it. You can make it perfectly square if you want. And then again, I used scrap paper to cover it. So we have this size. We have this size. Now, if you didn't do the bubble print, or the shaving cream print, or the marble print, or any of the prints that we have done, you can use blank paper too. So what I did is I made one with blank paper. Now this has got all different color paper in it, watercolor paper. It's got different types of paper in it, okay? You can do just white paper, but it's got to be heavy paper, like a cardstock, heavier paper, because regular paper will just tear, all right? So when making the journals, both this one and this was in Journal 1. This is the Journal 1 video, okay? Journal 1, Journal 2. When doing them, remember, your paper, it has to be cardstock or a heavier piece of paper because regular paper just doesn't work as well. Okay? There's your journals. Have fun, and I'll see you next week.